The total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timelines Talks. You take over, Auto. Oh, we're having some dribbles. Da 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 da. Featuring guest stars.
That seems only fitting.
He loves all the wharfs in his collections. It's Stars and Garters.
Sir, not appearing in this film.
Big McLarch. Yeah, not appearing in this film. He brings all the boys to the, I don't know, Automaton 2000, and he drinks beer and sometimes cocks up intros due to no audio working. Oh yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an absolutely flawless, couldn't have gone any more intro than that. That's lovely.
Folks, this is the high point of the show. I'm just going to warn you right now. It doesn't get any better, all right?
Oh, my God. Literally, like, 10 minutes before I went live, I was sitting there going, why is this not working? Why is that not working? Like, putting out fires everywhere, and then it starts with, like, no audio coming out from that. I was like, oh, my God. Anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Timelines Talks. Maybe not so premium this... Oh, hang on. Oh, God, everything... No, this is broken. There we go. Right. Let's put you over there. Anyway, the premium #1 exclusive show for all things Star Trek Timelines, and I'm exhausted already.
Just get through it before the whole thing comes down.
Yeah,
Good
we
grief.
just got to go there. Yes, I am joined as always. I'm Captain Idle. I'm joined as always by my hosts, Automaton 2000 and Big McLarge Huge. And unfortunately, Stars and Garters could not be with us this evening, so he had other appointments and needed a bit of chill out time.
Oh, I wasn't looking. It's all over you.
Yes, Ensign, it's all over me.
Fantastic.
I just had to make sure your audio issues weren't going to screw with the cues, because that's the important part of the show.
Not the intro, for some reason. Excuse me while I have a drink. But yes, we've
No, I will definitely drink to that.
Yes. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got some fun things we're going to do. We've got the Tribble Mega. We've got the new campaign coming up. We've got the Tuesday pack, and maybe some more Love It List It. Maybe a little bit later if we've got some time. A little bit of fun with what the dub. And yes, thank you. I am wearing literally purchased today my Captain Pike uniform. What was that?
Big was trying to be subtle, uncorking his alcohol, and you hear this creak, boop.
Here, let me see if I can ASMR it even better now. Yeah.
Wow. Apparently we're having audio syncing issues as well. There are just issues all over the shop tonight. We'll get through it.
Just close your eyes and experience the audio-only version of Timelines Talks.
Exactly.
Experience Beach.
Okay. First off, congratulations to the previous event winners. Congratulations to Carpe Diem from the Space Junkies for getting #1 in the last event, but polite bedraw and claps all around. And to some notable appearances in the thing. We've got Mahon at #3, Sankatse Siete, #19, Law's Data of Data's Law, I love that name, 29, 10F's very own Jock McScottim Jock at 32, and sneaking in at #39, previous guest along with Sankatse Siete on Prime Lines Talks, 7 of 1. So congratulations all you guys for putting big effort into winning Tribble McCoy, I believe it was. So, you know, I think
literally every other spot on the leaderboard is taken up with =J= players.
Yeah, this
so
is the
congratulations to Space Junkies.
Good for them. I'd like to just do a quick other shout out. Thank you to Korova for subscribing. They subscribed during the week, so thank you for being one of the essential patrons of the stream. Speaking of subscriptions, we've got I don't want to push this too much. We don't want to sort of endorse and say everyone must subscribe. No, everyone that views this stream is getting the full experience of Timelines. But if you do want to subscribe, we now have a subscribers only channel in our Discord. So join up if you do feel like putting a little in or gifting someone another sub or whatever. There is a little bonus for you. But again, we're not going to, all regular viewers, we're still going to be shows as normal. We just sort of enabled it because Twitch said, go on then. We had a competition on the Discord, as we do every week for making the show title. This week's show title was won by Skycap, so thank you for that, with some good runners-up. I added a little bit of spice into this week, and I said that everyone that put an entry into the title competition would get their name on our wheel, the wheel that we can spin, which I'm going to bring up on screen now, and the winner, whoever gets on this list, I will buy them their very own subscription to this channel. So I'm going to bring up the wheel now, if it'll load. Yes, that is indeed loading. That works, but my audio doesn't. So this is an actual wheel. This is not predetermined. I'm going to press a button and we're going to see who wins. And yes, StarsAndGarters is on there. I could well be paying him a wage this week. Right, shall we spin it? Drum rolls, please. Let's go. Genocidanian, former guest, is going to get a subscription from myself. So Polite Brand Imports, I will sort you that out when I get some time. Oh, it also means you don't get adverts on the stream. There you go. There's another bonus. Gentlemen, how's your weeks been? Before I ramble on too much.
Well, how honest are we being right now? Because I've had a very poor week, but it has almost nothing to do with anything game related. I mean, I guess there is the thing. I don't know if we were gonna talk about it, but the voyage thing that just happened to me.
Oh dear.
That did just happen. I had an 11-hour and 57-minute voyage earlier today that
my condolences,
crashed right on the doorstep of victory. But I mean, other than that, I'm here and couldn't imagine being anywhere else, so I'm happy about that.
I bet if you'd finished the Tribble collection, you would have had enough power to make it over the hump. So chill.
Sitting on 9 of 25 right now, so just almost there.
25. Shall we talk about the Tribble collection as it stands? And yes, we now have a slightly weirder collection. And the way it's been introduced, I've had this discussion with a few people on various Discords about how this was. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first collection that has been launched without the full threshold that hopefully we will be able to get throughout the next sort of few weeks. And it's also the first collection that doesn't have a sort of a large pool of existing crew.
I mean, is it even in a few weeks? If every crew that is on the rest of this mega would be eligible for the collection, I still don't think you get up to 25. I mean, I didn't take my shoes off before I started the show, but I don't think that math checks out.
I'm going to try it out for the first time. Throw a poll up in chat. And do you guys like this, that they launched the collection without having enough crew? Gives you a heads up, to plan for these upcoming events? Or is that something you'd rather wait till they have them all the ducks in a row so you know where you stand? What about you two?
I mean, I'm not against aspirational collection thresholds, because, I mean, for the vast majority of players, a lot of the thresholds for top ends of these collections are aspirational right now. But I mean, I guess it's fine. The thresholds, the rewards that are coming with this collection, which I guess we'll talk about more in a second, that bothers me more than the fact that they're not completable at launch.
It is a strange one, because part of me is like, yay, new collection, love collections, and I love sort of little minor collections that do weird things, and this is, the theming of it's brilliant, and it comes with a mega that's themed about tribbles. It's nicely organized, but I do feel like, and I believe so on the back of the whiteboard there, was it Collection Impossible, the Whale Trap Protocol. And I think that's quite apt, and thank you to Lee Resolution for submitting that title. But I feel that's quite apt.
I voted for that one.
Yeah, that is kind of apt in a way that, like, this is targeted to people who want to complete it soon and want them to play the event. It's not... I wouldn't say it's like a trap or anything malicious, but it's very much just like, want to finish this collection, here's the crew. And it feels a little bit strange to me to go down that route. It's a bit odd. Well,
and the other part of that question is, if that was the case, then why not release the collection before you could compete for Tribble McCoy? So you've missed out on one already. Just
because my dear Big, you can spend hard-earned dilithium and pull McCoy to help you complete the collection. They're looking out for your best interest.
I've definitely seen a lot more people saying, I want to get Tribble McCoy now from the packs that they've just released rather than recaps probably for that reason, to get the +1 on the Tribble. To at least get to milestone 10, which I think is the most achievable. We actually can't get to milestone 25 right now. The highest you can get is 20 if you're good, if you're lucky.
Yep.
Auto.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, see, this is normally where Stars would just kind of spin off and talk for another couple of minutes and cover over the silence. So we're all counterpunchers. He's the aggressive guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not only did they launch without enough crew, they launched it in the middle of a mega, which I'm sort of torn on, and I won't start another poll for it. But judging by the 80% yay on the collection status, I assume most people are okay with it.
Fair enough.
Smack dab in the middle of a mega too, and I thought back, I thought, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Because on one hand, it adds a little bit of permanent, long-term value to crew that you're competing for. On the other hand, it might push you to get a crew that you don't really want to, and maybe spend resources you don't really want to. And I thought, if they added this to, and I went back and looked, the mega event that I always like to pick on the most, that would be the Enterprise Mega, where we had 2-skilled Jamel and 2-skilled Captain Erica Hernandez.
2-skilled everyone.
humanoid figure, and these crew that, like, I think I skipped most of that whole month. And I thought, if they added an exclusive collection for these crew, would that have excited me, or would that have not excited me? And I thought, no, that would have been on the wrong side of, I'm just competing for this, and I don't really want to. Now, with these crew a little bit better, the theme is pretty tight. The art's not bad. The Tribble crew is a pretty good card, and Bones was pretty good. So it's like, if you're in that sweet spot where you're on the fence, maybe this collection pushes you over, and I can see it helping in that respect. But if it's like bottom of the barrel, awful crew, and they add a collection to it, then it's like, all right, slow your roll. I don't want to pick up these really nasty cards and need 25 of them to get a 1% boost. So,
yeah,
yeah, it's a funny one. I think later down the line, when we come to maybe the next portal update, they'll probably introduce a new crew. Namer raises a good point in chat. Is like, will we have to we have to buy on a whole crew and Captain Tribble to complete this collection? I kind of hope he's not going to be 25. I hope they're not going to put that threshold on us, and that they will. They will sort of release Tribble Picard and Timeline's original to like counterbalance the fact that you might, if you want that 1% side bonus, you're going to have to pony up 100k on a plus sites.
What makes you think they wouldn't do that?
Oh, don't.
On one hand, okay. I kind of hope that they do, because then, like, those crew actually have value. You have to get them. They're not going to be easily, quickly replaced down the line, and their collection didn't mean anything. But on the other hand, it's like, how many Tribble crew can they add now? They have almost everyone from Trouble with Tribbles and the DS9 one, Trials and Tribulations. So it's like, how many are we going to get? Some originals crew or what? Which actually,
well, we kind of are and aren't Sulu, already.
But I don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like there's really not that much left. I mean, are you going to have maybe like the bartender from Trouble with Tribbles? You're going to have Cyrano Jones. You're going to have Michael Pataki Klingon. It's like that's I don't
legendary, iconic crew members coming
as garbage.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be good.
Because I mean, they already shoehorned in the Dulmer and Luxley as being tribbled somehow.
I like that. That's quite a nice little. They were doing association as opposed to.
Yeah.
Century Tribble Martok. Thank you, Dan. Love it. I suppose you could have.
But that's
yeah. Go on.
No.
I was going to say you could have Tribble. I was going to say Locarno. Lorca. Not Locarno.
Why the hell not? Add everyone.
Yeah, Tribble Lorca.
Tribble Herder Ducat.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You can have Tribble Locarno and Tribble Paris and have them like pointing at each other like the Spider-Man. Yeah, so whether you like it or hate it, it's at least something. It's a departure from what they've done, and it is fuel fodder for our talk show to discuss whether this is good or bad. I'm kind of on the fence about everything. It is what it is, and we'll see down the line if I like it or hate it.
Oh, okay. Here's a question then, because the thing that I noticed right away when this collection went live is that the threshold rewards that came with it, apart from the stat boosts, were. Well, they're a significant step down from what we're used to in these kind of collections. But I guess the question is, how much does that matter to you, and how much should you think it matters? Just the one-time collection rolls, the portal packs, the dilithium, the merits, whatever. How much should that matter?
So as like a starting player, you get your number 1, your number 5s on the collections, and you're getting like essential things like crons and boost packs and things like that. That's great. But when you're finishing, if you can ever finish 80 on Inspired, you get your 1 premium pack, 200 crons, and about 50 credits. And like you're just like, yeah, I'll take the premium pack and take the honor, but it's a bit you're there for the stat boost. Everything else is just a bit like that'll be gone in the morning. My next tanking session, those merits will be gone. My next retrieval, the credits are just a drop in the ocean. So yeah, they're incidental, and I can appreciate they can't really work anything better in the existing thresholds, but these Tribble ones are pretty bad as in comparison to what is already kind of a bad sort of payoff.
Okay, so this first threshold is like, this is perfect for me. This is everything I want from a 1 crew threshold, because right now we only have one. We have a 2 skiller, and they added the trait to Koloth, so you have a 3 skiller you can immortalize. Now, when you're in that area of the game where you're just trying to get that 1 crew for the first threshold of a collection, these rewards still matter. The dilithium, okay, it's whatever, but it's a little taste of what you're going to start stockpiling and dealing in. I love those 3 packs, because when you're at that point, you're saving credits for a crew retrieval, but you're still trying to flesh out your green cadets. You may not be able to pull on credit packs, this and that. So that's like the perfect sweet spot right at 1 crew. That being said, the others are laughingly, I won't say insultingly bad, but like if you immortalize 5 crew, at least right now, 3 of them are going to be super rares. You can have a basic boost pack, which like even the 50,000 credits or whatever you'd have to pay for it is better than a basic boost pack. And if you immortalize 25 crew, including 16 gold crew, you can have a uncommon boost pack. Wow, which you get like 15 of every Thursday, if you're watching ads. So it's like, okay, we're all playing for the skill boost, fine, but like you couldn't find a more attractive throw-in than a basic boost pack or uncommon boost pack. It's like, what?
Best chance of 2-star time reducers, right?
Yeah. Actually, those are pretty useful. If they just added a single 2-star time reducer, that would have been an upgrade over the boost pack for me.
Yes.
Or a token.
Yeah, I would 2
tokens.
Yeah, I would have taken those 100 times out of 100 over, a basic boost pack.
But I mean, they are they are banking on the stats. That's what they're there for, really.
Yeah, and I want to, if we can talk about this a little bit. When they started Collection Mania, my first thought was, well, is this going to separate the haves and the have-nots? Because people that have, 800 crew immortalized or whatever, they have, by now, like a 10, 12, 13% advantage now over someone just starting out, plus, whatever you get from the fleet. And I thought, maybe this might start to be a concern, but the more I think about it, the speed of the game for new players, it's like you can feel this concerted effort. You have campaigns which spit out lots of freebies, a 4/4 purple, and a citation. You have crew retrieval, and now with the market, like I started a VIP 0 alt right when crew retrieval started, and I was able, without any breaks, to get every 18 and a half days, whatever it is, a new 5/5. You can take care of your gauntlet really fast compared to what it was. Like a 10x crunch, 10-fold crunch compared to what it was. You can get your arena crew, you can get a big base crew, pretty much anyone you want now with the market. And so the deals have gotten better, so it feels like my concerns are unfounded, because even though you're going to have a bit of a separation with the boosts or whatever, they've really done a concerted effort of making sure that the ground floor, that the new player, the low spending player, can catch up in a big way and so much faster than they used to. Do you guys feel that, or am I just shilling again for good old WRG?
No. I completely agree with you. Like starting off from scratch is a lot easier to just even get some basic pole stars from the tutorial pack and get something straight away with your first. If you're aware enough to save up 5 million credits, you can get yourself a decent gold rather than struggling through your super rares and everything and trying to luck into someone that's halfway decent. You can actually go, yes, I will have Sinister Picard and I will rock my Voyagers. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, it does. It makes a big difference. I don't really do alts. I can't split my attention between multiple accounts. I've tried and it doesn't work for me. But yeah, it does seem like it's a night and day difference. Because I mean, apart from all that, you have things that didn't exist back then, voyages and things like that. And even if you could just get a 2 or 4 hour voyage going, you already are starting the churning of resources faster than you could back when I actually started playing the game. So yeah, it's a huge difference. It's a 9-day difference.
Let's see what else came from that. Koloth, they did add the trade for me,
Yes.
so I think right now he's the only 3-star crew.
He should
I
be.
should probably have this stuff prepared before I start talking about it. And Reunion Spock and Kirk. Talk to me about this one, because every time a collection comes out, Idle hits the spreadsheets like you wouldn't believe. He's like, "Ooh, look at this movement, and this movement." So.
Yeah. Oh yes, yeah. And we do have a bit of news on that one. Do you want to break that one?
No, go ahead.
No. We now have a new returning champion in the form of Reunion. Spock and Kirk is now the #1 Voyager. Yet again, there is justice. Braxton's throne has been unseated to the awesomeness that is the dynamic duo. Please continue.
For now.
It feels like that meme that was going around a while back. Look what they have to do to mimic a fraction of our power. He needed a boost to command, dip, and psi.
Yeah.
To just barely edge above Braxton, who only got that command boost. So, yeah, in real life, in the real life game of Star Trek Timelines, and in my heart, Captain Braxton's still #1. So
He's still got the #1 raw voyage score.
Yeah.
All right. It's like, yeah, you can the boosts are going to make a difference over time, but just I can't keep up with the stock ticker of who the #1 Voyager is. It's Braxton.
So he's the raw, all natural, gluten free #1 Voyager, is what
He
you're
is
saying.
completely 100%
Exactly.
organic Voyager.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we need PED tests on Reunion Spock and Kirk is what I'm saying.
He's
It's
carbon
like there's some
negative.
HGH going on there. Yeah.
Negative Braxton. I pulled chat while we're talking about this Tribble collection. Are you buying Captain Tribble? And it's split 50-50 right now, which I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. So are you guys tempted at all by the fluff ball?
No. Not yet. I'm sure he's great.
No.
Yeah, cool.
Well, I'd have to get to the point where the returns from an honor sale would be so underwhelming or minimal that I would actually just have honor laying around. That it's like, okay, well, now I can splash around a little bit, I guess. Then I might take Captain Tribble.
I've looked at it a similar way with like the Physician collection and Captain Beverly Picard. If I ever get to 79 and I've done all 79, I've got that one last one to get, then yeah, and I've got the honor, I'll go, right, I'll complete it now. I'll get a and I'll spend the sites. And I think the same applies to Tribble for me. If they never had any more Tribble crew, and I cannot get to that 25th in about 3 years when I've completed all the other collections first.
If one uncommon boost pack is the thing that separates me from a faction win or not, then Captain Tribble, come on down.
Can you imagine? Like you can't use honor to help you in a faction event, like unless you have a bonus crew on site. So all you can do is throw like 250,000, 300,000 honor to get Tribble to push you over the threshold, open it, hope to get a 3-star time boost, edge him out by like 3,999 VP, and you win the faction event. Dude, I would fly to Texas and I would put you on my shoulders and carry you around if that's what happened.
I will hold you to that.
It looks like chat is buying Captain Tribble. So.
Okay. No, fair enough. I mean, he has got a stupidly large command base, which for any shuttle event you want to participate in, he's the bones of command. So, it's great. Any of the Honor Hall crew, apart from, Kalis maybe one day for inspiring, I'm not keen to put sights on right now. But, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You think he gets used if he gets
No,
used?
and Kalis looks a lot less attractive than he did before Balok came to the Gauntlet now. So, yeah, I mean, that's an interesting overarching question. Is like, I mean, are there any Honor Hall crew that are no doubt automatic buys for anyone anymore?
I think for a lot of like new players, Phlox is definitely a good shout, or anyone that hasn't managed to stumble upon any of the Eng Med to sort of hit as like Medic Reno or even Prisoner Kim or any people like that. I think Phlox is definitely one to fill out the roster if you're lacking in that pair or that combination.
Yeah. And I don't think that I am lacking in that combination, and I ended up buying Phlox, and he does make a fairly sizable percentage of my voyages too.
You've cited him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Well, yeah. That's the other thing too. It's like if you're going to buy Honor Hall crew, I mean, Kalis with the Gauntlet usage, you don't necessarily have to, but I don't know why you would go to the trouble of buying a crew from the Honor Hall if you're not planning on citing them too.
Yeah. The thing, I kind of half regret the one, not to say that we're going to spend money on the show or anything like that, it'll come up later, but if you're going to DYC any crew, if you're going to double your crew, the kind of think the Honor Hall crew are the ones you can do it with, because you can't buy them again. You cannot get them anywhere else without spending a site. So it depends how much you value a site, or actually, and part of my brain's kind of kicking myself for not DYCing Kalis for having a second copy for Gauntlet. Just being a dick like that. But no, I've never DYC'd. I've never done it, but
now that's kind of irrelevant, I think. For Kalis specifically.
The 4 crew, I think, right now are in a good spot where they all have, I could all see different rosters wanting to take the plunge, especially the Gauntlet crew, where you only need or you should only really be doing that first initial purchase, and the sites are kind of, it depends, but
yeah.
I think early on when Kalis first debuted, it was like, yeah, you should get this crew if you care at all about Gauntlet, and even then he was like a top 5 Voyager or something when he came out, so they all have their niche uses, which is good. Like, you want another option for your Honor. You don't want to just say, all right, I'm saving another 6-8 months until the sale, I'm getting bored now. It's nice to have that option there. And I was thinking about Phlox myself, looking through the collections, so I didn't pull the trigger, but as former #1 event faction of event winner, this Cisco one says, Lotion and Captain Tribble are the only way to win events. So if you want advice from the expert himself, go buy Captain Tribble right now.
And a ton of Ole. All right, since we're on the Tribble train, let's go and have a look at our crew this week. And my layout's all buggered up. Who would have thought it? I'll sort that in a second. The event winner that came out today, not event winner, the event card that will be played for next week is Tribble Sulu. Technically, a Timelines original. Because Sulu was not in that episode at all.
Yeah.
He was away filming somewhere else. So is this not a completely original card?
It would seem to fit that definition to me.
Yet, Human Neelix
Oh god! See, that's where I was going to go.
Original. Why?
All right. First of all, we had some hair flips redeemed in chat. certain WRG Ben asks, who should be the next honor roll crew? Well, obviously Homestead or Chakotay. And there's no question about that. But if we need some pale imitation crew, I'm sure chat will help you out with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he should be an original. I was going to say after Human Helix, who knows what the heck is going on at WRG offices. I could see them adding that. I was going to say posthumously. I don't think he's dead on arrival exactly, but post-release they may add him to that collection because it makes sense, and they've made those little changes before. But yeah, he should be.
Yeah,
actually, I was reading this week. Sorry, I was reading this week that they tried to include some footage of him in the DS9 Trials and Tribulations because Takei wasn't available for filming. Then they wanted to include him on the whole Tribble escapade. So,
well, I mean, that's why they did the Voyager episode with him, right? Is kind of a makeup on that, is my understanding.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So then my next question is when is Space Seed Chekhov coming to the game then?
Yes.
I remember you.
It is Khan.
Chekhov.
He was there. He was saying that he was not serving on the Enterprise and just bumped into him in the corridor, and Khan was like, I shall not forget you.
Well, and so that's the same argument that they're having with this Sulu here, because George Takei was not available to film for the episode, but Sulu was still on the ship. I mean, they didn't leave him on a planet somewhere.
I'm not contesting having a Sulu card, the Tribble. That's great. I love it. I love this card for the art, seeing Sulu carrying a bundle of Tribbles like he's entering them into some kind of guess the Tribble contest. It is
How
great.
many Tribbles are in this jar?
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's literally what I've written up there. Haven't guessed the Tribbles on the Sulu. If you can count them, you win a prize. But
why does it look like George, like the Sulu art is more missing a finger than Tribble Herder Scotty is?
You're right,
it's
actually. He's really grasping that Tribble, isn't he?
Look, we've had some complaints about the PG-13 rating, but all I'm going to say is that finger, he does have a finger on that hand.
He does.
And has disappeared somewhere in that pile of Tribbles. That's all I'm going to say.
He's just checking for abnormalities, as you do in the shower every week. We should do.
How you check the temperature of your animals is a personal choice, and
So
we're saying we should report George Takei to some sort of animal
Amnesty International. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about this last week, but this art again is like these Tribble crew art it's off. It's like they've been buying Olay offer wall offers themselves because they're sort of airbrushed. They look like they ate a lot of carrots. They're a little orangey in hue, and it just seems off. Like, am I alone in that, or
no, you're not. No, it looks. I mean, airbrushed in a bad way, to where it's just a little too, I don't know, it's not quite defined enough for me. And then the color balance is also off somehow, and I don't know if that was something that was just like a batch of art all kind of went through the same process, and because it's all kind of a cluster that they're all kind of looking the same with this just kind of jaundiced kind of look to them. But I don't care for it, and if this is how I voice my displeasure of it, I don't care for it, and whatever you guys did to change it, stop.
It's a strange one. His art, it's they've done some cracking art. There's been some fantastic stuff, and the artist they've got, it does really good work with every card. But there are some where they just kind of go, I don't know if it's a slow week or whatever, or they're kind of like rushing to kind of go like, right, we need to get these 4 out now because they need to be previewed. Which if you look on the Star Trek Timeline's Twitter feed, you can see they've actually got previews of the new cards, so maybe they're up against the schedule. A little bit rushed, I don't know, but there definitely seems to be quality differences.
They're bumping up against the birth rate of the Tribble, so it's like if they didn't get the art out in a certain amount of time, the amount of Tribbles would have just exploded over the whole of the art and would have just covered it up. It'd just been all Tribbles.
You know what I would have loved if the first crew they released was like Uhura holding the one Tribble, the next one was holding 2 Tribble, and by the end you have
holding the 2 Tribbles.
You have Sulu at the end with an armful of Tribble. That would have been impressive. I would.
Yeah, because you've got Kirk with about 5 on his tray, haven't you? So I wonder if that would have been.
He would have been like released in the middle or something.
And not said anything about it, and wait for somebody to catch on and say, "Hey, did you see this?" It's 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Thank you, Eric Nelson, for following. Live long and prosper.
So if we can talk about the actual card for a second. You know how we love to sniff our own farts on the show. All the other Sulus in the game are...
Been doing it this whole episode.
Are tier 8 or worse. They're all garbage, basically. Yeah. You know, whatever rating system you want to use, or just look at their ugly numbers. So this is like... back when we had our award show at the end of last year, you know, we did the best variant for the Overlooked crew, and we had some great ones like Mokbar Crusher making a comeback, and Prisoner Kim. And Sulu, I mean, he's not a world beater, but he's pretty darn good, and he's better than all the other Sulus combined. He wakes up with 2 collections, good void score, pretty good base, and it's like, you know, if you're a Sulu fan, now's your time.
Finally, yeah, there's been a Sulu drought. Yes. Shai-Paul, known Sulu enthusiast.
I mean, the main drawback is the fact that he has the exact same skill set as Reunion, Spock, and Kirk.
Yes.
So it does kind of kneecaps his overall usability. I mean, beggars can't be choosers, and he is, like you say, far and away the best Sulu, and it is a Sulu that you actually will use. If you fuse him up, you will use him, no matter the roster, because he does have some trait differences between RSK. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, but Reunion, you had to buy packs to have a chance at getting the purple. Yeah. You had to compete in the highest scoring event ever to get the other half of them, whereas... You know, Tribble is like, it's in a mega where you're going to have plenty of bonus crew, and he's going to be a lot easier to get. So
he's the Galaxy.
Well, and then
this is the guy, because the faction next is the Galaxy.
No clue.
I think.
I don't even try to.
Let me check the game
because I'm always wrong.
Yeah.
That sounds correct. Yes.
Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
I'm going to put my chip down on yes. He is the Galaxy reward. Final answer.
Yeah. No, I think you are right. You are correct. It is the Galaxy event.
Boom! Count it! But it's like, but there's also there are a fair amount of command psi cards.
Yeah,
you know, the Zahanadira, Science Officer Spock, a former campaign crew. Yep. So I mean, there's a lot of overlap there. I mean, I just don't want to get people overly excited about a card that is good, but I don't think it's gonna.
Here's the thing with this mega so far.
For many.
With this mega so far has been, they're okay. Like Tribble McCoy, he's okay. He'll get his merits. Tribble Kirk, he's all right. Tribble Sulu, it's a good Sulu. There could be someone better. You know, this seems to be like sort of like it's good they're not trash. It's good this not like Gordy said earlier. They're not the Enterprise Mega. This is not 2 skilled Jamel. This is someone you can use and will use for events. It just, you know, I think we are spoiled with the human Saru that Mega, and every time we're looking at Mega Crew, we're just like.
Well, this is exactly the situation that Otto was talking about at the beginning of the show, where you're on the precipice of, do I really want to compete for these cards or not? And then the collection comes out and is like, okay, I guess I will.
Yeah.
I guess I'll get like a copy of each to leave myself the potential to cite them up later on to finish this collection. So this is exactly what we were talking about.
So I like how we've been talking about this mega a lot, and we always gloss over the fact that freaking Barry Waddle was the recurring, and he's like a fantastic Voyager that's in collections and everything else. So it's like, that is your going out of business mega. That's, you know, when WRG goes under, like if we see another mega that good, I'm going to be like, you know, because that was really top quality. Before I forget, Tribble Sulu's flavor text, which reads like a fortune cookie. A large number of cute tribbles give peace and rest.
Okay. Does he look? He looks more stressed than rest. He looks mildly vexed, slightly inconvenienced.
Well, his arena ability is "I'll protect you." So,
but I don't.
Apparently, he's going to hand-to-hand fight some Klingons after the Mega to make sure the Tribbles don't get airlocked or something.
Considering this is essentially an original, it'd be nice if they gave, because with Plutonian Chekhov as well, if they gave a little bit of background to say, maybe this is what we could ask Ben next time he comes on the show. Like, what is the background for these originals cards? Like, is there a sort of thought process or story behind them? Actually, you know what? Maybe we should play the event and read the story text for a change to find out.
No,
All right.
no.
Okay. I can't walk away from this. It's like, what the hell does that have to do with Sulu whatsoever? That text.
A
all.
large number of cute Tribbles give peace and rest.
I think it's going to be in the
A
event
large
text,
number
isn't it?
of Tribbles give peace and rest, Captain.
Yeah, and that's when he
was
gets
quite
committed
good.
to sickbay. They're like, Bones, lock him up for eternity. He's completely insane.
He's not of the body.
Are you off the body?
It's just that's like 3/4 of a sentence. It's like that's not. You have not transmitted a thought. What
Also,
are you doing?
The fact that he's a diplomat sort of hints at like there's some kind of story there, right? That
Yeah.
we didn't get through the show.
I think
so
that's the story of the missing finger, right? That's diplomacy. Right?
And now we're getting closer to why he's at peace.
you mean he's got diplomatic immunity, so he can put his hands wherever he wants.
He needs to wash his hands, otherwise he'll have no immunities.
So anyway, if they do add him to originals, that would be a third collection. Which he's a good card. He's a solid card. He's the best Sulu by a landslide. So
If there was anyone I'm going to petition to say they like, because we said last week, Koloth should have Tribbled. This man should have originals. Chuck Human Helix out, put him in. We'll be at peace. Yes. Who's the QA manager again? Who does? Oh no, not Ben anymore, is it? Okay. All right, let's move on. We're getting a new Spock. The super rare for a galaxy, meaning you will get all 4 copies, is Tribble Spock. A very nice, tasty Spock for crew. Formerly sort of around the fugitive Spock kind of range with 3 collections as well. This is and I love the art. I kind of, as much as we've been saying, it looks a little waxy. I love the pose, and he's looking at the Tribble. It's like, what the fuck is this?
So this would have been your week 1 crew alongside Uhura because he's only holding 1 Tribble. So this is early
That's
on
true.
in the multiplication.
All over the place, this Mega.
Yeah, he's
Hold on,
contemplating
what's
the
the
hell out of that Tribble.
The more you kind of look at him, the more you kind of like can see his thought. You can actually physically see his thought process going. It is fluffy.
Oh, I wasn't looking. It's all over you.
Yes, Ensign, it's all over me.
I have the list of commands open because I forget all of them. So
You just keep going to that one.
Do you really need any other ones besides that
Well,
one?
that's true. No, you don't.
Yeah, no, he's good. I mean, if I was to hand pick any of the crew that we know of up to this point to be the Galaxy super rare that you get all 4 copies of, it would have been him. So I'm happy about that. And it'll be another one that'll make it easier to at least hit the 10 threshold of the Tribbled collection if that's going to be, if you're still needing cards for that, along with the new 2-star janitor.
Yeah.
This is blue.
So
Sorry.
I already had that pasted in the chat, but I wasn't going to interrupt Big. So
Sorry.
oh, that's fine.
We all love a Spock, don't we? Everyone loves a Spock card because Spocks get so many events, and we've got another Spock event coming, and they always tend to be trait mad. So like this is no exception. Like I'm more excited. Like this is to me, this is the high point of the. It's sad to say, like, because I'm not really enthused by McCoy. I'm not really enthused by Kirk. Okay, cool. I'm getting 4 of them, and he's a Kirk. But this is kind of the high point in the Mega for me because this is a card I will use again, and this is a card I will get to 4/4 and level up. And Phil's at least Vulcan for me. I've done Life Among the Stars, but Vulcan is one I am aiming to complete at some point.
Yeah, and I think most players still are because they haven't gotten around to sighting up their, Ambassador Savals and Vulcan Executioners just yet. So this knocks one off your list of terrible golds that you'd have to fuse up to finish a Vulcan collection.
Thanks, Auto. I mean, podcast listeners are really missing a trick with these polls. We will, and yeah.
Well, you're gonna tell them if it's for the podcast?
Yeah,
for those of us that are trying to stay off Twitch to not overload our internet connection.
Exactly, yeah. So the current poll is we will, and the options are Spock you.
Spock suggests that the cause of the Tribble's death was something in the grain they were eating. Now, if they could have worked the word engorged or gorged into this, that would have been beautiful. But,
I mean, if they could have removed about 3 words and, maybe remove the word Spock too, then we'd have more continuity across the flavor texts that have been included in these cards so far.
You're going for the throat today.
They could have just given them all 3 words, and you have to read them in order to unlock the secret message.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like drink more Ovaltine.
I wonder hang on. If we put all the flavor text and read the first letter of each one, does that spell out the code to the next honor hall crew?
It's join the Navy, I think.
Yes, even Nepdiage or whatever it was from The Simpsons.
Hold on, if you're gonna say that, you have to sing and dance while you do that.
I'm not standing up. Come on.
All right, so I sort of blew my load on this because I had my speech spooled up for about power creep and new players and everything.
The heterocyclic declination. We need a biomolecular physiologist in here. This man is dying.
That was Garrick. Mods can also do it as well. Shouldn't have said that bit. I should turn that
Wait,
off.
so what made Garrick do that? What did we say that triggered him to?
Oh my god, the We
out.
Will Spock You actually got 50-50. That's amazing. Okay, sorry, carry on.
We're big in Switzerland, You're feeling very neutral about this poll. So this Spock is a monster. He's base number 4, voyage number 5. He's got 3 collections: Tribble, Exobiology, Vulcan. Like you said, trait rich. So if we got telepath or musician or astrophysicist, none of that would surprise me. And his base with bonuses is like halfway to 1100. And it reminds me of Mirror Jad Ziadex, who's still a good card, but when she came out, she was number 1 base. There were not a lot of options in that skill set for legendary crew, and I remember looking at the numbers in depth and I thought, this is a 3/5 gold crew that they're giving you. Like, this is a partially fused gold crew, and bonuses have pumped everyone up since then. But it's this Spock, if you're just starting out, like, it's your lucky day because this is a partially fused gold crew you're getting. And the collections alone make the veterans want to get him, but the power would have new players want to get him. So he's just a great crew top to bottom.
And it's really hard, like, when we talk about super rares, because it's hard to kind of rate them this day and age with all the current roster that are in the pool. But this is one of the first occasions we kind of all go, yeah, he's as good as a gold, really, because it's Spock. I
mean, the last time this came up was when Alton Soong came out.
Yes,
because that was another gigantic. I mean, and Soong's side base is still going to be bigger, but just for the all-around total package, I think Spock is going to be more useful to more people.
Yeah.
Now, we are unnecessarily reductive on this show when it comes to collections, but if they swapped, who is it? Who's Sulu? It's him and Sulu together? Yeah.
Yeah.
If they'd swap those two, and like you had to rank for the purple spot, like I'd rather do that because like just for the collections, I'm close to exobiology. I'd be willing to do that. So, maybe I'm overvaluing that, but as we talk about boosts and drive the stake through your heart, Mr. Almost 12-hour voyage today, like 1 or 2 more boosts can make the difference, and a lot of people now are breaking that threshold. So sorry, you can either drink or hit me, one of those two.
Why not both?
Okay, pal.
How much are plane tickets to Germany right now?
Too soon, they say. All right.
Guys, can I share something with you? Can I? There has been.
Please do.
If anyone's seen the Lower Decks Season 2 trailer and is a child of the 80s and 90s, do you remember various family members having those horrible display cabinets with plates in them? And do you remember having Star Trek commemorative
I have a follow-up
plates?
story.
Okay.
I have a follow-up story.
No, start it now, because I think everyone knows where I'm going with this.
No, please finish
so,
it before.
So there is in fact you can actually now buy, if you go watch the Lower Deck season 2 trailer, it's fantastic, but in it there is a Tom Paris commemorative plate that talks to Boimler in some sort of frenzy that don't know the details. But this has spurred a moment of insanity on like Twitter and everywhere of people actually producing and selling commemorative plates. Now people are coming out the woodwork, going with the loft and going, they were cool all along. I've got plates that just dust the dust off them. I couldn't sell them on eBay because they're only £1 each, and now everyone's going mad for plates on your wall again. You can actually go and buy yourself a Lower Decks Tom Paris plate again, which I think is mad.
I want to say it was probably 25 years ago, give or take, for a Christmas. My parents got me the Four Captains
I think
commemorative plate.
Actually.
Yeah, it's where it's Kirk, Picard, Janeway, and Sisko, and their 4 ships. And it was the only real piece of Trek memorabilia that I had, because I went through a kind of a period where I didn't really do much with Star Trek. I was, busy trying to be a musician or whatever, and didn't have time for Trek. But I had that, and it survived all the moves that I made over time. And the last apartment that we lived at, because my kids would get it down every so often and just, play with it. And I think actually what my son had kicked a football or something and knocked it off the shelf, and it was in a million pieces. And I actually tried gluing it back together for about an hour when it's like, this is not happening.
No. Did you write a song about it afterwards?
Well, I will now.
About the pain that you felt.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something. I'm giving up on you. Into the trash with you. No, it's just it was just the one thing that I carried forward. So that they're cheesy. I mean, the art was pretty good, but it's always something that's going to mean something to me, even though it's now residing in a East Texas landfill somewhere.
This is the ultimate safe space, because first of all, look what Idol is wearing. Second of all, like
what
we do these 3-hour shows devoted to like a Star Trek mobile game, so I don't think you have to worry about anything being nerdy or like not cool enough. People are sharing daily on Discord all the different starship models. They're collecting stuff, so it's all good, man.
Because this literally came today, and it came through this morning. I ordered it a couple of days ago. I was kind of unsure about the size, and then I sort of hid it downstairs. And then after work, I sort of went up to my wife, who was lounging outside drinking a cocktail on the in the garden, and I went, "Look what I've got!" And she went, "Oh, you didn't? Oh no, what's wrong with you?" And I'm just like, "What? I like it."
I'm kind of surprised that they come in kids medium.
Oh. When's Stars coming back?
All right. Before we move on, I've got to warn folks in chat now. If you are interested in this Tom Paris plate, there are some fakes coming out of Singapore. They don't have Tom Paris; they have Locarno on there. So make sure before you buy the plate that you have the correct Lower Decks character on there. You wouldn't want to be stuck with a Nicholas Locarno plate.
Wow, I wonder if that's the twist in it, because Lower Decks tends to play on things like that, and they're good for like little references. I wonder if it'll turn out it will be Nicholas Locarno or Lieutenant Marseille. Anyway,
they're watching the show right now, right?
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah, Mike Mahan is in the chat right now. No, he's not. But if you are,
yeah, Shy Porn's got it right. Whenever we need a quick, easy, dirty joke, we just smash that Locarno button and.
Because it always works, Worf.
That's the problem. You really do have no sense of humor.
We are entering a exobiologist's mega, so kind of the collection we got in the past and we didn't get a Mega for, then I kind of go, whoops, quick, let's put this Mega on something, let people earn some Exobiologists, which I believe Spock is one, so congratulations on getting your +1 on that one. Also, big to tell us about some, because we've got 2 faction events in this Mega, and that's absolutely fantastic because people always like a Mega with a faction with a crew bonus that they can go into the Cryo Vault and get all of their good sort of crew out to do. And thank you for following Sawpoint. They get all the crew out that they haven't seen in about 3 years, going, oh god, I forgot I had Captain Lucero and things like that. And worthwhile crew to unfreeze or look at or not miss the boat on.
Now, this was a Stars segment, so I ended up compiling a few names literally 5 minutes before the show.
Yep.
So the low-hanging fruit, of course, is Bones, the #1 med base, and Captain Tribble, #1 command base. Now, they both get a bonus. You know, you could put them on 5-seaters, and they'd probably still get chipped to 90% success or something because their base are just so huge. And Human Saru is almost up there. He's not #1 overall for dip, but he's pretty darn close. So those are the easy ones. If by some miracle you don't have them leveled yet, go do that. And to zig here instead of, I'm sure Big will zag in a second, I looked at crew who have the fewest number of event bonuses to date. Because sometimes it just feels better to level these awful purple crew right before an event so you can use them and then shove them off to the freezer. So the bottom of the list, actually Captain Tribble has only had 5 event bonuses to date if you look at the traits. So all those people, put your money where your mouth is. All the people that voted that he's so fluffy and you want to go buy him, go buy him, level him up for this Mega. #2 on the list, Fora Gagan. The weird dinosaur creature from Voyager has only had 7 events to date. So if you have them unleveled, you could probably get a couple weeks out of them. The bases aren't great, but you know, if you like to use crew that you may never use again, there's one. Dr. Edward LaForge, Geordie's dad, who was last year an event crew. If you have him laying around at 1.5 and you never used him, here's your chance. Yarnek and M113 creature, who are both ugly inside and out. They've only had 8 events to date, so this might be your only chance to use them. And then, fitting that Idol is back now, Soulbore, who only has 3 traits, but he's into double-digit events now with this Mega. He's actually the #1 super rare diplomacy option for all Tribbled and Exobiology crews. So if you have Soulbore hanging around, level him now and get the +1 tick on your Exobiology collection and use him this month.
I don't have a ton to add. I like looking at these Megas and seeing what former Mega crew get another round through to get additional use out of. I mean, there's going to be a lot of obvious names for Exobiology. It's going to be, you know, all your Spocks, all your Daxes, all your Phloxes, and stuff like that. But the one that comes back this time around is EV Suit Spock. I mean, his bases aren't terrible. I mean, his psi base is certainly usable. And then the other crew that you would have multiple copies laying around already is Homesteader Janeway. So, you know, if you've still been sitting on her 3 of 5, she just entered the portal. So if you have a retrieval coming up and you've been waiting to finish her, now's the time to do it. Oh no!
Sorry.
What have I done?
Sorry, Big. No, not you. Auto's up to mischief. Please don't let him stop you.
Oh no! Is there another poll?
There's another poll.
Does Captain Idol look like Soulbore? The answers are yes or yes. And what's the third one? I don't see.
No, yes.
There's a third option.
Let me get a picture of Soulball so people can have a fair and objective opinion. Son of a bitch.
But I would suspect that it being exobiology, there's going to be a lot of science because there's a lot of crew with big psi bases over the depth and breadth of exobiology. So that would also mean that cards like Dr. Ann Mulhall, former #1 base, would get some use. And then also, I mean, we have talked about him before, but coming around again, Dr. Bones McCoy. When people questioned how useful a single skill crew would be, here he is again, getting another mega bonus in a mega with 2 full faction events. So, yeah, it's still carrying the mail, that Bones McCoy.
Yeah. Most useful one skilled crew ever, really.
Yeah.
Evans of Wales in chat says, security is a struggle. I had to get Khalifi Spock out. Now, there are only 2 big, meaty, legendary options for security. You have 1701 O'Brien, who was a 6-pack crew who I think only recently entered the portal. So you probably don't have him, or maybe you don't have him fully fused. The other one is Gladiator Spock. So he was a campaign crew, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he's been around for a while, so he will be your go-to security option. And if I can transition to the new T'Pol, is actually very reminiscent of that new T'Pol.
Yes.
Yes, so this week's Tuesday pack, Pernaia Prime T'Pol is...
Props to Stars, who has a way better transition
he
to
has,
segues
yes,
than I do.
even
I'm
if
like,
he
go
doesn't do
to
them at the
her,
right
and
moments.
then I say nothing.
He's like, I've got a segue, and I'm like, that's so far down the show list. That's like miles away. I'm like, right, fine, fuck it. Yes, Pernaia Prime T'Pol is the Tuesday pack this week in... Yeah, probably not the... don't do Tuesday packs, kids, but this is even one that doesn't look too appealing. I just love, and I'm going to just quickly show on the screen, because I did put it there somewhere, didn't I? This one, yes. Look at T'Pol and the species 8472 the invader there. It's like hiding behind T'Pol. It's just like, that man stole my candy. Get him, Mom. T'Pol coming in with the Karen's wrath. It's like, give it back. Don't come near me, my son, again.
And this is the week of disappearing appendages. I like to think he's just giving her a little back scratch, just making friends.
Massaging.
And, yeah, sure.
To Karen. Yes, well done.
No, she's saying, hold me back.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It's like,
I'm saying boo earns.
And
so
getting hit by a football in the groin.
So this T'Pol is, if you guys have Gladiator Spock, which a lot of people who buy campaigns probably didn't pass on him, she's similar to what he is now. Now he is like, 2.5, 3 years old at this point. So she's not a real powerhouse, but you have the similar skill set, similar base. You have the Vulcan collection. She has a similar number of events, and her traits aren't fantastic, but, they're probably a little bit above average. So if you're struggling with that skill combo or you like the character, she is not dead on arrival. She's not great. Like I said, she comps best to a 3-year-old card at this point, but that card was great when it came out. So there's no exobiology here, so she's not going to help you out in the mega, sadly. But if you like T'Pol, it's not a bad one, and she doesn't have a lot of security options.
Garrick, especially the lies in chats, comes with number 1 villain Mugato. Is he the number 1 villain? Is this as in trait in the game, not objectively? Is that true?
At this point,
with 6 seconds of airtime, Asira no comes with. Yeah, it can't be true. It's Mugato.
No, there's a billion villain securities. Wait, what? He's not even a villain, is he? What's going on? Did you just derail this whole show to talk about freaking Mugatu? No, he's not a villain. He's Mugatu, Brutal Hunter, and Primal.
Number 1 in my heart. Okay, Garrick.
All right. We're unmodding you after this show. What is going on?
Brilliant. Okay, where should we go? Oh, yeah. How about a new campaign? As always, Campagan. Yes, that's... Oh, God. I would pay good money to have... what's his name? Brannigan. Captain Brannigan. Zap Brannigan in this game. Velour. We do have, yes, a new campaign coming up, which you can get... It literally is just called Cyberneticist. There is a pillow behind you, Big. It's just walked into the room.
Oh, no.
I know. I just blew him up on my screen. I guess see what's going on.
I'm fearing for my life.
Oh, watch out! It's going to be a sneak attack.
He gets smothered from behind, then it's just going to be down to you and me, Idle.
Oh, okay, well.
Yep.
I see my package has arrived,
It's-
Mr. Big.
It's the circle of life. You go on stream, you get smothered by a pillow, and you get new co-hosts. That's just what happens. Happens to us all. It's the beauty of life. Ah,
And then
Oh.
get a baby in the lap.
a small one.
There's
Hello. Wave to the child. Well, let's wave to the child. There it is. I forgot what I
She's
said.
the new uncommon Tribble crew.
Yes, yes. Tribble Big's daughter. Yes, this is literally just called Cyberneticists. There is no how would these two get along, or these people met at a date at Corks one night. No, this is just they're Cyberneticists, straight and to the point in which everyone just went, collection! I think pretty much uniformly just went, it's teasing a collection.
So at what point are they going to just start calling a campaign $9.99 here?
Yes. Pay for crew.
It's like, yeah,
Give
buy this.
money.
Thank you, Shiraz12369 for following. Yeah, so it's Leah Brahms and Alton Soong, who we were just speaking about. Alton Soong being one of the best costs for a super rare card, and this just speaking about Soong quickly before we get on to Brahms.
Well,
He was
hold on. Let's back up. Let's back
Alright,
up
let's
a
back up.
minute because I want to hit this. I want to hit this note
okay.
here.
All right.
That's what
Okay,
Jordy said.
so we ripped on them for the, we wonder how they would get along because there's like no link between them or whatever.
Yeah.
But like that's good. That was something. Like it was memeable. We joke about it still. It was memorable. This is Cyberneticist is the theme of our next campaign. Like what? So why am I? Some people do read the story in this game. Some people care about the fluff. Like, give me some reason to buy it other than Cyberneticist is the theme of our next campaign.
People who have worked with associates of Geordie LaForge.
That's a very short list. It's like 4-star Brahms or 3-star Brahms and 5-star Brahms. That's it.
Yeah. But
LaForge adjacent crew.
Ooh, you think we'd get "Let us see the fire in your eyes," Worf, as
Ooh,
the 5-star?
what would you call that? That would be
Dating advice, Worf.
yeah, Agony Aunt Worf.
What an episode for you to miss, Stars. We're talking about new Worf variants.
So with the super rare, he was a galaxy reward. Am I wrong?
Obtained event. I'm not going
Yes.
to go back and look, but he was an
Slept
event
several
reward, yeah.
times since then.
Yeah, I'm thinking that this sort of reminisces back to how would they get on with diplomat. No, hang on. What was his name? The version
What are we
of
talking about?
Spock's dad. My brain's just frozen.
Eric?
Sarek, diplomat Sarek, who came in, who was a galaxy reward, and then literally 3 weeks later they chucked him in a campaign, or maybe more. Time is strange in COVID, and they're doing it again. Alton Soong was mere months ago, and now here he is in a campaign. Why play?
Well, he is 11 months ago, so
Okay.
it wasn't like it was yesterday.
Really? My God.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
you can
only 8
almost
minutes
start
into
calling
hour
his
2,
age in
and it's
years.
like,
Good Lord. Time is strange.
Oh, time in the age of COVID is extra strange. So, I mean,
Real odd.
you can definitely be forgiven. I mean, if you just are duping big bases, then you really can't do worse than duping the #1 Psy base and #1 Voyager among super rare crew.
Oh, he's stunning. Yeah.
Yeah,
mm,
still and an 11-month-old card and hasn't been topped yet. I don't know if he's the Braxton of purples, but it certainly is.
So I was going to go, actually, Chuckles Chakotay was the #1 Voyager, but these damn boosts, the Commander Psy boosts, have bumped him back up. So Chuckles is still #1 in my heart, though.
Give it time.
So I'm going to re-spool this rant for the third time now. New players are having it pretty good. You have like you say, number 1 base, number 1 Voyager, and this Alton does perform like a 3-5 or a bad 4-5 crew. You're getting for free if you can complete the bare minimum each day. So he does have a collection and innovator. If Cyberneticist does become a thing, then maybe he hits 2. But daily use out the wazoo if you're a new player, even if you've been playing for maybe a year, I bet he would still find work for you.
And Brent Spine has confirmed that Alton Soon will be back in Picard Season 2. So there is a future variant, future event potential in the card that isn't a data, but is Brent Spiner, which is the worst of most of the cases. He sits with the laws and the B4s of the world, but
B for what?
B for time.
B for chicken? Stars. This is where Stars on his rewatch is like, oh my god, I can't miss another week, or we're losing everyone.
Yeah. Go to jail.
Flip.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I almost started the stream with like a towel on my head or something. That way I could, do the hair. But it just didn't work for me.
Dude, average of the 3 of us, like, it's pretty rough right now.
Yeah. This is the follically challenged stream.
If you average the 3 of us, we do technically have hair, so we got that going for us.
It's just not where you want it. It's in the ears, it's in the noses. What were you thinking of? Disgusting auto. Okay, let's ask the viewers, like, where are they putting their money where their mouth is, because what you will have to pony up for is Leah Brahms, who is, I want to say 2 years old now, but knowing me, she's probably back in 2012 or something, I don't know.
26 months.
26 months. Oh, Jesus, really? I remember she was a Tuesday pack, wasn't she?
I have these all memorized.
Yeah, for some reason. Memorized on my spreadsheet.
I wrote them down so I didn't have to remember.
Oh, that's the secret. Wonder where I was going wrong. Engineering side dip. She has not aged the best. She was reasonably decent when she came in, but I think she still has some use these days. She's not exactly the most, I don't want to say attractive, because that's not attractive statistically in terms of, like, the art's lovely, and I love the Leah Brahms character, especially at this stage when she's calling Geordie on all this sexist shit. But
I am outraged that you don't love this card. What are you talking about?
Go on. Sell me on Leah Brahms. Why should I spend money on this game?
All these talking points in my head have nothing to do with the actual card.
Good.
I mean, the art is great. Actually, she was my white whale for a little while. Just because of the art. I like the art, and both episodes are good. Like, okay, Geordie's like a creep or whatever, but he's a lonely guy working long hours. He didn't know Leah when it happened. I'm not going to make excuses for him or whatever, because we can get into weird territory quick. But it's not even a redemption arc. The part 2 arc, where they meet up, and he thinks his Fungili is going to win her over, and she's like, she realizes right quick, because she's a smart cookie, and she's like, you did all this research on me. I'm married. He's like, oh, okay.
The one piece of information that would have been the most useful in your research, you just glossed over.
Yeah, who would have thought when he's asking for help navigating out of a field of landmines and he's running computer simulations, that the computer wouldn't tell him that she's married at that point in time? Like, that was the most vital information.
That was denial. He knew that. He absolutely knew that, but he programmed her not to be, because he didn't think he was ever going to meet her. So what came first? Because I can't remember the chronology. I think they're roughly around the same time. They're in season 3, season 4. Hollow Pursuits, or the first Leah Brahms episode where she was a hologram?
I think Hollow Pursuits is later.
So Geordie knowingly created a romantic version of his crush, and then gave Barclay shit about it later on.
Well, no, he asked to be.
He kind of backed into that. It wasn't his original intent to make
It's Geordi. Of course,
Hey.
he backed into a romantic encounter. It's the only way he gets into that.
Yeah, fait accompli. But his intent was to solve the problem, and then over the course of that, he
solved another problem.
Yeah, when you're touching the
created another
starship, you're
problem.
touching me.
Okay. So actually, that first episode was good. I think that was one of the ones that I had on VHS as a kid, so I probably watched it a lot. But everything from Captain Picard taking control of the ship and actually flying it, which is neat.
Yeah, I like
to
that. Because he was a
the
pilot.
simulations they run. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I really like the two-parter. I like the car, I like the art. But, you know, if you're on the fence about shelling out money, ask yourself, what is this crew going to do for my roster? And I don't really have an answer for you.
And not a lot at this point, I wouldn't think. I mean, it's definitely possible that you might have a hole in Eng side that needs additional crew, but we've kind of talked for years and years about how
Dude, Timeline's Talks fans are relentless.
Wow.
They are mobbing us. They're pounding at our doors trying to get on the show. I totally get better security, man.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's like we don't have stars, so let's just bring on the kids and distract from the fact that we're starsless. No, I mean, she's just kind of an also-ran. I mean, what's the best thing she can be? Cyberneticist, warp theorist. If those things come up, she would have some use. But even then, with like Cyberneticist, you'd have a lot of datas that you would have to also contend with and things like that. So I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of
Let me just check the Timeline's backend stats super hyper edition sheet. You know, a spreadsheet for analyzing various crew. And let me just have a look and see who she's similar as, because I should really include that on these stats. But Leah Brahms. So she's in specifically exact same skill set. Eng, Psi, Dip. She's still pretty top of her league in that skill order. The only person she's really beaten by is Emery Erickson, but she sits above Data the Fifth. I know. Oh, it's such a shame, isn't it? I can't believe it.
yeah. I don't know.
I'd just like to let the viewers know that these are paid actors.
the show, baby. Good grief.
Paid actors, so that Big can remind us that despite his vast knowledge of Trek, he has indeed made it with a woman. So congratulations, Big.
Kiff,
I'm just as
alert the
surprised
men.
as anyone else.
But do you know, if
Quite a number of times at this point.
Yes, Rascals, Big, McLarge, Huge. I like that.
All right, fine. Here,
There we go.
just sit on the lap.
Okay,
Right.
so looking sort of roughly at the triplet, so if you take them in any order, she is, funnily enough, beaten by Little Boy Blue Wesley, and a few others,
Love it.
including Red
Love it.
Angel or Zinni Aquatic. You know, she's not at the bottom of the list. She's not at the top of the list. She's kind of just sitting out of that range that you might have some people on your roster that might be better. So you're getting that sight at the end of the end of the campaign. You might think, oh, maybe that's a little bit better there. But for, you know, if it's your first Eng Psi Cyberneticist, then you might do well.
Easy for you to say.
Hey.
By the way, can we just appreciate that her arena ability is not only evasion, but it is tied for the highest evasion in the game. It goes up to 12.
Wow.
So if you rewatch her and Geordi doing his little mating dance with the pasta and everything, that is just a perfect massive evasion ability right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That didn't click until just now, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, she's evading Geordi's moves, as Chad says.
Okay. Also, you've got a little.
I might as well.
Go on.
Another one of my sent me a handwritten note. I don't know if you can read that. It says poop pee.
All right, Stars. If you're not on the show, you can't start slipping notes to us. All right.
we got a very funny. It just made me laugh. We had a YouTube comment put on our channel because, you know, we're not exactly shy about making the odd off-color humor joke around here, and it was along the lines of, "Children, watch this. You guys are sick," and I'm just like, what can we? This is there we go. There's our sick humor by the audience who loves us.
There's the children demographic at work.
Yeah.
Shy Pornas, is that the card description? Poop, pee. Brilliant.
We should just end the show right there.
Yeah, that's it. We've peaked. This is the end of this height of the career.
You do have to admit, it has a sort of strange fascination. How long can two people talk about Leo Browns?
Longer than
We've got
Geordie
more
can.
mileage out of it than I would have thought already.
Yeah. Okay. Otto, tell us about some trait things. Some traitage has happened. Traitorage.
Fantastic segue.
Yeah.
Otto, now it's your turn to
Yes. Hey, listen. I'm
Talk
looking
about the
down
next
show-
thing on the list.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. We have show notes. Stars is the segue, man. You guys aren't working hard enough for me. Come on.
So this is
Doing my
sort
best.
of a this will not entertain everyone, but it entertained me enough to throw it in the show notes. Every so often, it's our tools, the hyper backend sheet, big book, whatever. A lot of that is run through data cores, so there's sort of the amalgamation of a lot of different community efforts. So every so often, we like to sync up our data because in the past, WRG has done some stealth changes to cards, and it doesn't get caught unless data core runs that information automatically from the game. So we had a list of like 160 traits that were a little bit off, and some of them were user errors, some of them were old fixes, but a number of them I think were new, including a whole bunch of crew got the ambassador trait. I think about 10 of them had the name ambassador in their name. They just didn't have the ambassador trait, so that got fixed. They added a bunch of human, Federation, civilian. They fixed the sort of Terran Empire, Terran Rebellion thing, which hasn't mattered since 2016, but those should be pretty consistent now. The one that jumped out to me is Cadet Wesley Crusher now has the pilot trait. So all the people that have been asking for that for forever, since he's like actually from the piloting episode, he has that now. So there's nothing big that jumped out, nothing you need to probably tweak your own tracking for, but I just found it interesting because a bunch of the ones I checked were not listed in the big trade audit they did a while back. So I think they are doing a little bit of cleanup still behind the scenes, at least from what we can tell. So
It would.
I wish they would. I wish they'd post that so we can follow along, because it's not doing anyone any favors to not do that.
Especially those of us that are tracking those manually and putting all the traits in. It'd be nice to have a change log regularly to say, oh, we've done this. I think I was talking to Commander Wolf, who runs the DNA sheet, the Do Not Airlock sheet, which is a very useful tool. And we were sort of talking about something else spreadsheet-wise, and we going through it realised that Klingon Kayla, he was like, her stats are wrong, and I'm like, yeah, they are. They're different from my sheet to yours. And I looked up, checked on the data core, checked in the game with someone that had her, and yeah, she has at some point after launch been changed, and the DNA obviously also manually tracks those like I do, unlike the data core, which does it automatically. But it would be nice if even if they are tweaking something, just to have a little bit, oh yeah, we've done this. Don't mind them doing it, not a problem. Like, it's just we want to know, because those of us that are running the community resources require that kind of information. Otherwise, we look like idiots more than we already do.
Well, especially since they do sometimes list those things in server update forum posts, something like that. Yeah. So I mean, we're not asking them to do something that they're not already doing. Just have it be more consistent. Just
go from someone in the back end of the engineering going, oh yeah, they should have this trait, to passing that on the pathway and going, oh yeah, that should be in the notes. Just go, we did this. Okay, fine.
And you don't even need to say, added +7 dip points to blah, blah, blah crew. You could just say adjusted stats for this crew, this crew, this crew, this crew.
There was a really weird one.
Because we can go find it ourselves.
I had a weird one was going through about, I think it must have been about 6 months ago or whenever, where I had about 200 to 300 odd crew that were off by 1 or 2 points. And it, from what I was chatting to, I believe it was Ineffable, quote me if I'm wrong, or TA7, and what we actually managed to work out was that there was one item, like, I don't know, a detronal scanner or something, or a database that had just increased by 1, and that affected so many crew that I had to plug through and readjust things. And obviously I passed that on to DNA, and I passed it on to forget who runs the level 100 sheet, Paladin's extra level 100 sheet now, and it's little things like that where they'll change something and not realise that, oh gosh, we've got people who are looking at our resources to kind of go, yeah, we're looking at opinion. And it's little things like a trait or 2 points are not going to make a huge difference, but cumulatively we want to be accurate. But yes, patch notes would be amazing. Thank you.
So if you weren't here, I think we talked about it last week or a couple weeks ago. First of all, shame on you. How can you miss an episode of this enthralling symposium?
Yeah.
So in the trait audit, and again recently when we were looking at these discrepancies, they added human to a bunch of holograms because they are human in appearance, even though they have the human and hologram trait. And Little Boy Blue Wesley, great timing on that. He started out with human, and then they removed it. So he's a hologram with human appearance, but they removed it when they added it to a bunch of other crews. So, if you want something else to keep you up late at night, there's that too.
Well, I mean, if you really want to drill down on that, I mean, Lady Beverly, Musketeer Picard, Goddess of Empathy Troy, all from the same, not even from this, just from the same episode, from the same holodeck program, all have human, and Wes doesn't.
Yep.
Why are they saying that Wes is not human?
Listen, this is
Wes. WRG thinks Wesley Crusher is subhuman, and I won't stand for it.
Suit.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on the WRG side of things, but then again, anyway. Slight side. Thank you, Zero Bilderberg, Zero, for following. Thank you. So this is good. Going sort of meta game, when Little Boy Blue Wesley comes to the portal and you get his constellation, at least you're not getting human. Like, looking at that, it's a good thing. But yeah, I kind of agree that they should be consistent with those things. And I think we will be griping about traits till the end of time with this game, about little inaccuracies and little anachronisms.
End of timelines, as it were.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Q will come in and start it all over again.
One of my favorite quotes from Frasier is they went out to dinner and they found this fault with the dinner that they were complaining about. And Frasier said, "Yes, but just think about it. What's better than a fine meal? A fine meal with one tiny flaw you can pick at all night." So even if you're happy with the state of the game, everyone loves picking fault at little things, right?
Yeah, if you're just eating dinner, you say, that's nice. Yeah, oh yeah, nice. But he's like, well, you could, well, I can see that.
Yeah, actually, that as an aside, the thing over and above me wanting to hit that 12-hour voyage today was the fact that I wanted to hit that 12-hour voyage because Little Boy Blue Wesley was on that voyage, and I thought that would have just been high comedy, and it was denied me, and I am doubly upset about it now.
This Cisco one says, "Go to Olive Garden. The entire meal's gross, so there's nothing to complain about."
It's like when you get a 2-skiller, isn't it?
But
then there's unity in the mediocrity, I guess, right?
Cisco, you winning an event is the best thing that's happened to the stream, because he showed up now the last few weeks in chat. He's got gem after gem. So next time I miss a week, have him come on, please.
Yeah, okay. Always up for people to come on the show and express their love of timelines. Okay. Shall we do something fun? Let's play. I haven't got an intro segment again. Let's play. Love it. Or this is where you guys are supposed to go.
Let's really love it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's do it!
There you go.
Nailed it!
Thank you. I meant to, I say again, I've had a really busy week at work, so I've not had time to do any kind of intro segment. But yeah, we've got a few constellations. Thank you to Walt Koenig for sending these in for us to talk about whether you should put a constellation that you get on the market or whether you should open it yourself. So let me just pop over to this screen and get rid of Leah Brahms, as Geordie should well have done, and look at Incognito.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not. Take no offense for that. Incognito Kirk has Human Federation Starfleet, inspiring undercover operative or investigator. Would you love it, or would you list it?
Not only would I list it, I have listed it in having gotten this since the marketplace went live. That's at best a 33% chance of something usable.
0.3 repeat.
Yeah.
0.4 for
At least I have chicken. It's like undercover operative is the I think the cream of that trait set there, because there's some top flight crew that you can get with that trait. Investigator at least has a fairly small pool that you're drawing from, and then some decent crew there with decent collection value crew. But Human, Federation, Starfleet, you're basically kneecapping this constellation right from the get-go, and Inspiring at this point is not that much better.
So Tsunkatse Siete in chat says, I open them all.
All of
First of all, you're killing our game show, all right? You have to, just pretend if you had to make the choice one way or the other, and Apollo, if you're listening, I know you only open them for what you need.
All of them.
Yeah.
Not just the male constellations, but the female constellations and the child constellations too. I open them all!
They're animals! And I open them like animals!
So, what would you list this as? What is your... We're going to do the Antiques Roadshow here. What was our expert's guide price for the Incognito constellation?
Yeah, do you remember what you
If
made?
I were to list this at auction, I would set a reserve of 4,000 ISM.
Ooh, interesting.
I would not open anything that has Human Federation and Starfleet. You're just asking for paying that. I mean, it could be Human Federation, Starfleet, Tribbled, and I still wouldn't open it because I just know, I'm going to feel the pain. So I'll let someone else feel the pain.
I have been seeing some
And
insane...
pay me for the privilege
Yes.
of taking,
Tribbled is hot stuff at the moment. I've been seeing some people selling them for like 70k ISM up to like 100k. It's a pretty rare one, and people really want it. It's interesting, even though there's not a lot of crew you can get with it that are worth anything. But if you're in the super rare market, maybe. Okay.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, with something like this, it does have that carrot of a trait in undercover operative that I think people are hunting for. So, I mean, it would be something that I would think a certain percentage of players would want to take a risk on, and that's why I might list it a little bit higher than my standard price for constellations anyway.
I actually did. I forget if I flipped or sold. It was a day one thing. Investigator moved for 70,000 ISM the first day when it was the Wild Wild West. So
That beautiful first few hours.
I don't
Those
think you can get that
halcyon
anymore.
days.
But yeah.
Was it last week we came on the show where we were just like, God, that Wild West of ISM, generation, all of 2 hours ago.
Yeah. Well, it's like when I nabbed that athlete Polestar for like 2,000 ISM in the early going, and that feels like finding a like a Beatles record in the record store that has the variant cover that they didn't know what they were selling, and got it for $5. And
so ISM valuation expert Janos Adanian in chat, because he's been going hard on the market, he's been going nuts for it. He says the expected value is about 2,700 ISM. If he listed it, he'd probably put it up for 5k. So maybe judge that wisely. Okay, let's go on to Augment Picard. Let's talk about human augments, engineered villain, brutal, desperate, survivalist, hunter, duelist. Would you love this, or would you list it? I've got to say, it's got human in it, but that's a good one.
Indeed, it does. Right there at the top, can't miss it.
Right there, it just means you're more likely to get human than anything else, because that's apparently how this works.
By the way, shout out to Skycab, who pointed out for the first time that I noticed anyways, you actually can see the silhouette of the crew inside the little constellation.
It's so subtle, isn't it?
If you're playing on any kind of platform larger than a Trisket, then pull it up and you can look at the little silhouette art, and it's pretty neat.
Yeah. Okay, so this looks a little bit more attractive. I mean, engineered definitely is seems like a solid Polestar to me. Survivalist also. augments. I mean, there's going to be a lot of overlap between engineer, but there's also going to be some crappier crew, because I don't think any of your Bashirs are going to be augments, but they would be engineered. But brutal, desperate. I mean, duelist is not bad. Hunter's not bad.
Hunter's a great one. You can get some quite good crew with that.
Yeah, I would lean towards loving this one. I think.
I would agree.
All things considered.
Oh, time is a flat circle. We talked about this last week. How we haven't had a great Hunter Voyager in a long time, and I can't see them overhauling Voyage traits like anytime soon. If it does happen, it'll be when you least expect it, out of left field. But right as it stands right now, you have Hunter pop up from time to time, and no great crew to fill out. I think there's only 2 crew in the top 100 Voyage power: Chuffed Captain and someone. And I know we're Pendant Comet. Yeah, but I don't know if he's still top 100. Anyway, that is a trait Polestar, because Chakotay, a lot of Chakotay variants have the Hunter trait. That is a Polestar that I'm going to be hanging on to until they add a fantastic Hunter Voyager Chakotay. And when that happens, I'll be laughing all the way to the bank with my... if I don't manage to get him before he hits the portal, then, I'll at least be able to retrieve him.
All right. This is overwhelmingly love, without a doubt. Okay, let's go on to, speaking of engineered, 1701 Bashir. Human, Starfleet, Federation, undercover operative, cyberneticist, physician, engineered, and tribbled.
Yeah, I think that's a love. I think that is one of the situations where you fade the human Starfleet Federation just because every one of those traits other than those 3 would be a plus, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a couple of cells from the Cisco and Skycap saying, they would list it. Probably, if you want to fetch a pretty price. If you're like, I don't need engineered, I've finished that. Who has finished physician, but okay, maybe who has finished tribbled. Maybe you'd get a decent price.
Who's finished engineered?
It's possible. If you've got your Khans and your Wakims, it's very possible. Or Joachim.
I shall have you. Your Jiao Chams?
Jiao Cham.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a hypocrite of myself immediately, because I said even Starfleet Federation I won't touch, and I don't want to touch. But this might be the exception, because we are at the zeitgeist of tribbled value right now. It is tribbled mania, tribble frenzy, and depending on the price of stuff like this, this might be the time to get that tribble trait and try to put it for sale. So if it's, if the prices aren't outrageous, if people are buying this for, 25,000 or whatever, then sure, I'm going to sell it because I have terrible luck. But if a tribble falls into your lap on a scan, this is the best chance for tribble, best time to try to pull that trait and flip it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's also, it's knowing your market and knowing what, because yes, all right, you would open this constellation for 1,000 ISM, and if you get Human Federation Starfleet, you dematerialize it for 800, so you're out 200. But the chance of hitting one of those jackpot Polestars, even if you're not going to use it for yourself, and then selling it is just there's way more value in that than there is just selling the constellation. Or
that's how they get you.
It is how they get you. Yeah. Over and over again. Yeah.
People said they wanted a new game mode. This is 100% a new game mode, really, isn't it?
I mean, it's a road to nowhere, but damn if it's not fun.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Right.
This is the representation of the Q continuum that humans can absorb and understand. We're playing the pinball with the galaxy and reading the same book over and over again.
Let's do one more and we'll move on. Okay. Klingon O'Brien. Starfleet Federation. Klingon. Human. Jury rigger. Undercover operative. Duelist. Veteran. A lot of tasty... There's 3 collection polls in there already.
Yeah.
But is Federation Starfleet human again?
I think I'm leaning list on that one. Just out the bat, because I mean, again, yeah, you've got the undercover operative, Klingon, jury rigger, okay, veteran, okay, but Federation, Starfleet, human, and duelist all seem fairly pedestrian to me, and I feel like somebody would be willing to take the gamble on it and pay a fair rate for it, and I wouldn't have to do it myself.
See it in chat. Who's going to buy it is a question. You don't have to supply the answer to that question. The great material continuum will provide it. If you list random trash for 40,000, people just buy it. I don't know why, they just do.
I really do wish that they had opened this up to items as well, the whole trading thing, because I would love to be able to trade off alcohol for some self-stealing stem bolts and a picture of Buck Buckeye from the 30-90s baseball season or whatever it was. But yeah,
yeah, get a Willie Mays baseball card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the value. Maybe like if they added, say, a collection for jury rigger, or maybe they added a Klingon collection or veteran collection, then maybe. But the Human Starfleet Federation, I'm not big on. You guys are just going to gloss over that, pretend like what I said was normal? All right, whatever. I need stars back to berate me and tell me what a moron I am.
This is one thing. It's like, and I hesitate to even bring it up because the market for these things is still so new and establishing itself. But it does seem like, just anecdotally, that constellations of gold crew do tend to market and sell better than super rare crew, purple
I'm still
crew.
Stunned by the Admiral Janeway that sold for tens of thousands of ISM. It's just like, why are you doing this? Those traits are trash. You're getting Federation. Come on.
There's just a certain segment of the player base that doesn't understand that buying the constellation doesn't mean you're buying the crew. It doesn't even mean that you're buying a better chance of getting the crew.
It's about sending a message.
I'm going to buy all of this Polestar, even if it is trash.
Yeah.
Shall we do something we said we weren't going to do? I did say we weren't ever going to talk about LTOs because I
didn't sign the waiver, so I mean,
well, you are an official host now, so you've signed something. I'm sure did I send you the paperwork? No, never mind. It's in the post. Anyway, we did say we weren't going to.
I remember making this promise.
I kind of
did. When did that happen?
I kind of did to myself. I said we weren't going to talk about LTOs because
I
didn't want to.
You said it to yourself.
I did.
Okay.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I explained this.
Where are we going with this?
I had the two tins of beans that I ran the string from one ear to the other and said, "Are we going to talk about these?" And then
this is what I do when I'm not on air. I'm just going mad in the corner.
Who is this? How'd you get my number?
I think at some point we did talk about this, but anyway, I said we were going to talk about LTOs because we didn't want to enter too much of a conversation for paying too much. Go on.
Hold on, we're going to get to LTOs. I'm going to slip this in. Regency Riker needs the prisoner trait a la off-duty Janice Rand because Amanda Rogers swept him away against his will, held him there, he's prisoner. All right, on to LTOs.
Okay. I said I wasn't going to do this because we didn't want to talk too much about, a lot of people say, oh, you're just paying WRG, you're just those shields, and just kind of avoid that by saying, well, we won't talk about LTOs because most of them are trash anyway. However, this week we are going to kind of talk and skirt about them because I know a lot of people are interested in these two, and we are actually dealing with, if I can scoot around on the thing to them, oh god, come on, I can't press this button hard enough. Defensive Phlox and Human Saru, both very good and very common cards, and I think it's worth discussion about them anyway for anyone that is on the fence. Again, I advocate not spending money on the game because it's a free-to-play game and your money is best spent elsewhere. However, if you're already in that loop and wanting to get cards to improve your roster, these two are probably some of the best LTOs they've offered in a long time. Shall we start with Defensive Phlox and his potentially gauntlet supremacy that he kind of has in the meta arena?
Yeah, he's good.
Next.
Okay, right. And no.
Look, if you're gonna have conversations with yourself and not include the rest of us, then I don't know what to tell you.
No, I mean he's the gold standard for med gauntlet crew, and the only reason that if you have him, that you're not taking him is because some other med crew has crit advantage over him. I mean, I think that's pretty fair to say.
Yeah, I mean he's got outrageous sort of like he's over 1k max proficiency. His lows are low, like he has the full range of. Like a lot of people saying, "Oh, everyone recommended this huge gauntlet crew, but he's losing all the time." It's like, no, you get the full breadth of the range of the gauntlet. Like he can hit high, he really can, but you've got to take a risk on it. But
Did you say range or rage?
Both. Why not? The rage of Phlox.
Well, I mean, but the comp to that is the range, especially now with the bonuses that have come in, it's not that much different than somebody like Kalis or even like Caretaker on their primary skills. I mean, it's their mins are a little higher, but they're not outrageously higher. So I mean, it's yes, and we're inviting everybody in chat to start talking about their horror stories of all the times that they've gotten their defensive Phlox beaten by whomever, but he's still good. He's a good
defensive Phlox killed our livestock and burned our crops. He did? No, but are we just going to stand around and wait until he does?
But this is the thing with Gauntlet Med there's not really anyone apart from the odd person that hits the crit like Twilight T'Pol or Krelmo Set. There isn't a huge great range of Gauntlet Med options.
I'm going to disagree with you because I think med is the easiest skill to make up for, and you do have to have a wider selection of crew, but especially it has the largest number of purple crew with huge proficiencies. Mirror Phlox, Nurse, Faith Garland, Doc Crusher, even Antok. Even Antok, he has a 45% and a 65% gauntlet. So you have those crew. Beverly Picard is always a phone call away, if you want to. Twilight T'Pol, former event crew and campaign crew. She just said 45% the other day. So you can definitely make it up in other areas. And you also have very common crew like Caretaker, who, like, are you ever going to bring defensive Phlox up against him in EngMed? No, not really. What about against Guinan? Are you going to roll against her med dip? No, probably not. So
as well. Yeah, okay, I'm wrong.
I think med's the easiest one to make up for, but on the flip side, if I'm trying to sell it to someone, I guess my biggest testimonial would be when we had, I don't know if she was on or just asking her in chat, Stellar Ice, the Fleet Admiral for VIP 0. When we had this Birthday Beholds, probably would have been almost a year ago at this point, and you could get a gold crew, first star gold crew for 1,500 dilithium, guaranteed. And she said that there were actually a few people in her fleet that either did it or were extremely tempted to do it. And, Dill is a very precious resource to zero spending players. So, you don't have to feel like you need to take on 4 more citations of debt if you're going after a gauntlet crew. It's a sort of one-time purchase, and then you get 90% of the power. So, there are collections at the end of Rainbow. It depends what your roster's like, because there are a lot of meta options, but he's still the best, I guess. So,
yeah.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about someone that is almost universally loved. One of the sort of later losers club of Voyagers that just outperform pretty much everyone is Human Saru, and again, offering him as an LTO this soon after his event is a very strange. But at least it's not a Tuesday. There was a chance you could get him from wherever. But this isn't an EV suit Worf situation. But the absolutely stunning Human Saru is now also a LTO, which is definitely worth commenting on because this is someone I think most people, if you didn't get him in the event or pull on his packs or get him from the recaps, he's a top tier Voyager, no doubt.
Yep. If you don't have him, I would heartily recommend getting him. I don't know how else to
depending on
be
your
coy about saying it.
depending on your own personal preference on spending on mobile games, but like, you know, this is if you're down that rabbit hole, you are, and this is probably one of the best LTOs they've offered.
I mean, what else is even in the same league as him?
Unless they offer Braxton straight up as an LTO, which I don't think they've ever done. I
don't think they've done.
Gary Seven,
I mean, Socrates, I guess maybe is the closest comp for crew that they've offered in this way. I mean, I guess you could maybe ding him a little bit because he's a dip primary crew.
Yeah.
And dip seems like a very accessible trait for crew by and large, but it's just the power is overwhelming, and the traits are fantastic too. The collection value is great. I mean, he's in the costume collection, he's in the exobiology collection, he's in the survivalist collection. Those are 3 really tough to complete collections. I've not completed any of them up to this point. So, and that he's a variant of a crew that is still on a currently in production Star Trek series, that additional variants are going to most likely be coming. I really don't know how much more you could ask for in a crew. I don't know what his arena stats are off the top of my head, but other than that, I mean, he's a fireballer. Go, if you spend, this is what you would spend for. So it's hard not to recommend him.
This just raises a point. He said, I can't remember a more competitive event than for Human Saru, and I remember, I just scraped top 30 to get 4 copies of him. It was brutal. Sorry, Big, we're reopening old wounds here, aren't we? Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, well, it's just stab me in the back day, isn't it? No, because I was top 100. I want to say I was about like 90 or so with maybe less than 5 minutes to go, and I lost it at the end, and I think I ended up finishing like 105, something like that. I ended up making it up in recaps, so you know, at the end of the day, I ended up with my immortal Saru one way or another. But yeah, that was a brutal event, and I spent everything that I had to go after him just to come up just that much short.
I'm holding it as I want to be a dick so bad right now, but
go on.
I won't.
Oh, go ahead.
Please.
Okay,
so yeah, it makes for better pod.
No, look, I can be jerks to the regular host because I know they're going to get me back real soon. But it's, you know, since you're not on every week, I would feel bad. All right, so first of all, don't buy these offers. That's my recommendation. Yeah. At the height of my whaling, which I spent a lot of money on this game, I think I bought one 10 euro offer, and I regretted it shortly thereafter. So now we have retrieval. Human Doug Jones has 31 unique retrieval combinations. So even though he's not right now in the portal, when he's added, and even for subsequent portal updates, because he's got, you know, Kelpian alone, even if you have to shell out a little more ISM for him, that is what ISM is made for, to get these targeted crew, even if it's expensive, whatever, go for it. Linguist, Kelpian, you know, whatever else he has is a very eclectic set of traits. So he's going to be a very easy retrieval. Even if he's expensive, he'll be an easy retrieval for you. Just, you know, I would say don't spend money. He is one of the best crew in the game. Like, that's undisputed. I'm sure someone will dispute it, but I wouldn't spend
on
money.
On what grounds, though?
You can get them. You can get them somewhere else and not have to spend money.
That's kind of what I was sort of saying about talking about LTOs or any kind of deal that involves actual money. We talk about the campaigns because you kind of get so much more with the campaigns, but like with the LTOs is a bit of a harder proposition. But I kind of felt these two were a little bit worth the conversation a little bit, just because. Yeah.
Well, I mean, these are, I would say these are the cream of the crop. These kind of deals that have been offered. So if you're saying don't even get these, then I think that kind of tells the tale for anything of this type. It's like, if these aren't worth it, then none of them are worth it. And
Well,
I
that's
think
just our advice. I mean, we can talk about how good the
Yeah.
crew is and let people decide for themselves. I thought Idle was going to
Sure.
get up and go scribble on the whiteboard, but I don't think there's any space left anyways. And it's an interesting dichotomy because you have someone in defensive Phlox who's sort of a one and done. Human Saru.
I just got to step out for a second. I've got a small child issue, but I will be back shortly.
Sure.
Oh, you're looking at the Vamp Kings right here.
It's an interesting dichotomy because you have the one and done star, but Human Saru, if you are going to spend $10 for him, you are sort of in honor debt at that point. You really should spend 4 sites, not only because he's just one of the best in a vacuum, but it's like the honor hall crew. Like if you're going to get Phlox from the honor hall and keep him at 1 star, like that's not really helping your roster compared to spending those 4 sites. So if you do take the plunge, you got to take it kind of all the way with Human Saru, which is not the worst proposition out there. But anyways.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I said that earlier, because crew that don't appreciably help you in Gauntlet, you need all the stars to really get everything that crew can be out of them. And so, yeah, if I can understand if you only had the 999 or other currency equivalent to spend, then maybe, and you don't have a ton of honor, you're saving honor for an honor sale, so you can't really spend such right now. I could understand just shut on defensive Phlox because first star is going to be the most important, and you're not going to be able to maximize the value. I mean, if I was just buying one, I would probably still buy Saru, but I can understand the argument.
I threw a poll in chat because I think there's always a handful of lurkers who watch the show and they would vote in a poll, but they wouldn't make a comment. So, how often do you guys buy these $10 LTOs? I mean, specifically for the crew for the $10. Because, like I said, I've only done it once, and that's not my style, especially when the campaign is staring you in the face. If you want to try to compare the two.
Yeah, I want to say the last one of these that I ever bought was maybe Mountaineer Spock, and I don't even know how many years ago that was. But it was something to immortalize him. I just had him at it may even have been longer than that. I feel like he may have been offered as a 999 crew more. That he was one of the very early on 999 crew. But anyway,
you bought them for the rocket boots, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Back in my early,
who wouldn't? They're resplendent.
In my early Timelines days, I very much made the mistake of buying an LTO, and I'm not proud of it to this day, because I had no idea about any of the stats or anything like that, and I heard, hey, this is a good Gauntlet crew, and I was like, I do like that character, and I actually bought 7 of 9 gold 5-star. Yeah, I have not used her once. She has been objectively terrible for the entire time I've had her, and that was my one learning, kind of like LTOs are not a great investment, even at 1 star.
No, the only one that I feel like is not a horrendous investment, and it's worse now than it was at the time, was Mobile Doctor. Back when getting Indulgent 7 was a real difference maker for rosters, because he's not 100% retrievable.
Yeah, that was the one time you kind of hold your nose and look the other way and just kind of go, all right, I need this for the good crew. Like I think that was why they did it. They marketed that so well to kind of go, here's this amazing crew. It's Engmed, it's a 7, it's a Doctor. By the way, you need this card. It's only $10. Blah 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 blah. And yeah, you kind of see why a few people did that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? And chat. Chat is telling on me now. Yeah, I did buy the EV Suit Wharf LTO too. So yeah, I gotta throw the flag on myself for that one. So yeah, I did get that one.
I think all husbands cop to having convenient amnesia, so no one can hold that against you.
Okay. This guitar? No, it didn't cost that much. No, I got it a much better deal than that. Oh yeah, don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
Always. Right. I think we're going to have to call it that. We were going to play a game of What's the Dub with a Star Trek twist tonight, but I think we're running quite over time tonight, and I have a screaming child upstairs who is potty training, so I need to kind of rush off and go and deal with that. Which is a little bit of an issue. Yeah.
You're not going to like the result if you don't.
Yeah, and Big has now lost his decent internet connection. We're now on low budget, Big.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone for coming into the chat. It's been a blast reading everything you've been putting. And just to let you know, this Saturday we will have a Star Trek Adventure stream. We will have part 3 of Star's campaign, which I'm very excited to finish before we move on to... He's already got plans detailing his next campaign, which I'm really hyped to play. So there's that on Saturday, and we'll be back next week with some more Star Trek Armada, I believe, unless we choose to do something else. We'll let you know. We'll find out. But yes, I don't think I've got anything to say. Come on the Discord, come play with us over there, do show titles, win some months of subs, and yeah, that's all from me. Anything else from you guys? I ask you this every week. I always say because you guys, you're like, oh.
We had to just vamp while you were gone, so
I know,
we
I
used
do
up all our
apologize.
material. Yeah.
Don't often have to go
we
to...
shut all our boards already.
Yeah. If only there was some way I could give you guys control of the stream, wouldn't that be nice?
I just watch chat and steal all their best lines and pretend like no one actually said that.
Okay. I will call it there. We will see you next week. Thank you everyone for coming. Ta-ra from me, ta-ra from these guys. Bye-bye.